What is going on? How are you and how you been?
I'm sorry. Who are you?
Demond Jones,
I'm
shut the
just
hell up. Shut up.
I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Long time no see
So
on the
little
yeah.
sabbatical,
No, yeah,
but
things are happening. I'm doing
yeah.
well. I'm doing okay. I'm
Yeah.
doing okay.
You know it's funny you said that? I actually have been wrapping my brain around what you just talked about, which is absence, right?
Okay.
And not to go into a wholly different thing, but like if you have like a 9 to 5 and
Mm.
everybody comes home every day, eats dinner, whatever. Then you think about people who have a modicum of success that makes them travel. Okay, so let's say a Tabitha Brown or a Tyler Perry, someone whose success has grown to a level where they're gone
Yeah.
from their normal life,
Yeah.
and they're like, now I'm on the road. Um, I really have been wrapping my brain around like not coming home every day, um, which I think is preparing me for whatever could be next. Does
Mhm.
that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I know you joking and laughing. I just had to say that, but I remember a long time ago, and I remember when we started this thing,
Mhm.
this together. Do you remember what I asked you?
No.
I said, "Let me ask you a question. Do you think your husband could handle this if this turned into a
Oh, something
thing
big.
and you had to be like, I'll be back. I'll see
Yeah.
y'all in three
Yeah.
days because I got to go to Dallas and
Yeah.
promote this. And
Right.
I'm,
Right.
you know what
It'll
I'm
be. It's
saying?
my thing. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely. And I don't. What did I tell you? I don't know. I
You
don't
said, I
know.
don't know.
Oh well,
I don't know
now.
if you said I don't care,
Oh.
but I definitely,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I would think that I wouldn't have said that it would have bothered me because I don't really want to pursue something that doesn't have the potential to be all God wants it to be.
Correct. And
So,
you can't stifle it and say, oh, I
no,
can't because, I got
no,
to cook dinner and I got to,
no.
like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you got
Yeah.
no. I agree with that. So
Yeah.
no, I think I'd be open to whatever wherever he takes us or
Yeah.
however he wants it to go.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's funny you
Yeah.
said that, but the stranger part, because you do then not see people that you do on a regular or
Yeah.
your regular church people or your
Yeah.
neighbors, because you're like, hey, I'm moving in a direction where this thing is taking me,
Yeah.
and so for me, mine was just working at my son's rental property or whatever. So I've been gone a lot,
Yeah.
but I remember the other day I was like, I have not been in my bed in 3 days.
Mm.
Like I decided I'm just gonna stay there and work on it, even though it was an hour and a half drive, but it
Yeah.
just made sense. And so that normality has definitely started to shift. But I think God has really just given me a dose of what it could look like later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've been doing my bit of traveling. I've been that somebody was like, "Oh, jet setter or whatever," because we just got back from New York City Saturday or something. No, Tuesday.
Yep.
And I have a weirdness, not to say, I guess to answer that question. If my hotel is on point, I'm fine to a point. But if my hotel is lacking in some way, then I get that feeling like I can't wait to get back home to my bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what that will look like on the road. I think people on the road probably look back, maybe do look forward to getting back in their own bed.
Yep.
And I probably have about 3 days. And I noticed that with one of my children. They're like, I'm good after 2 nights. So I don't know that we need to go across the country or across the world. If I know that we're in a space that, I'm going to be wanting to be in my bed in 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Too funny. So anyway, I got one for you.
okay.
I know that's not what we're talking about,
I know.
but I was on, and I think you saw it or commented, or we talked about it, I don't remember. I had made a Facebook post about um, should you date while you're in your rebuilding stages, or should you date um, when you quote unquote got your shit together?
Like have it all together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to Rashawn about it, and he was just like, no, you when you get your stuff together, unless you do this in your 20s, then you have a life together. Like, my whole point was, I believe men seek companionship more when they're in the trenches because they want that person that they can count on, go to, be their cheerleader, massage their shoulders, squirt water in their mouth, and push them out there and tell them get back into the ring.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because men need that.
Mm.
But I also believe that they seek that relationship even more because that road down wherever they're trying to get to can be dark and lonely.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're on top, I don't think we seek it as much.
Oh, so like the partnership or the need? Okay.
You're like, I'm good.
Like when you say partnership, you don't mean.
I ain't
like
saying you have
hooking
a
up,
person, but you
ain't
know, I'm
get-
talking about that you're ride or die.
Yeah.
You're not seeking that ride or die.
Yeah.
Any like that any because now I'm good. My life is good. I've been through the trenches. Everything has a higher potential to be surfacey.
I think it's funny you said that, and I know this is a very like vain perspective, and I don't know if you know a lot about the history. Do you know who Chris Evans is?
Huh.
He's an Avenger. Most women think he is like a 10. He's been sexiest man alive before, kind of thing.
Okay.
But he's always craved the relationship, which is why it's funny to people because he's in Hollywood. He's like 43 years old. He hasn't found his person. He's dated people, but he wants that.
Right.
So maybe 3 or 4 years ago, he finally found his person. I think there were certainly some criticisms to the fact that she's like, right now she's 29. He's like 44 or something. They got married a few years ago. They finally had their first baby. And he was like, so many people look at their careers and they go through this process. And I mean, he's been in things like The Avengers. He was in those murder mystery movies, the Onion, whatever.
Yeah.
So he was in the first one of that.
Yep.
So he's like, his career has developed
Okay.
into different roles and depths, but he's always wanted that. And so it's interesting to hear you say that because there's probably a handful of men out there because you eventually go, well, what the heck's wrong with this guy? He's 44 years old. He's gorgeous. He's successful. He has millions of dollars. He's successfully planted himself in Hollywood and he can't find a person.
Right.
But he said while other people are chasing careers and have these goals with their careers, the thing that makes me feel accomplished is that I have a family and I settled. If there was, and not to throw your friend under the bus that way, but if there was a Chris version in Hollywood, that's who he always reminded me of. Actually, was your friend. But he's like, I want to settle down. I want to have a wife. I want to have kids. Yeah. So he finally has that first baby, and he's
happy, and he can afford it.
Yeah.
He's not no longer splitting his love of pursuing something other than just devoted to the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that has
And I think she acts. I don't know who she is, but I don't. But no, so I don't know. So to your thing, I go like, what are we doing here? What do you do? You have something? What do you think? Like, how do I feel about it? What do I think?
Well,
about it?
see, I think for
it different
you,
with women?
yours is what Rashawn talked about, which was you've got 20-some years in,
right? 25.
So y'all have the experiences of the journey
together
to this point,
to this place.
Yeah. Well, y'all can talk about the moves, the whatever.
What worked, what didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it may not have been quote unquote a struggle, but y'all have been on the path of life together. So for 20, what'd you say?
25.
So for 25 years, y'all can turn to each other and go, woof, these kids, these babies, the throw up, whatever. That's still, it doesn't have to be financial hurdles. It could just be this thing called life. You buried parents together.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So y'all have that bond that comes with longevity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, especially like people like me who are divorced, I mean, I've been single longer, I've been divorced. You don't, like, I remember thinking, I was watching something and I was like, wow, I won't have that. I won't have that 30 years with this person to look up and go, oh man, that's, didn't we do that?
I
won't have that. I mean, I could get married today and I'd be 70 I'd be 75 before I got 25 in and go, well, that was a ride. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Although I think that could still create a very good and different experience. You don't have some of the growing hurdles that are faced.
but at a certain age, and this was my point, if you quote unquote have your stuff together, whatever that means, then a lot of it is surfacey, I think. Because if you're doing well, I'm doing well. You're driving tall, I'm driving tall. We both, our credit scores are great. We both got a year saved of income put away or whatever. What you have then now is just the life together without some of the, I don't want to say trauma bonding.
Hurdles.
Yeah, like you don't have that. I don't think and I could be wrong. There's probably people here on second marriages that tell me this way sweeter the second time around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the idea of being able to trauma bond.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, let's have some stories together.
I think it's interesting because I think if you asked a man and a woman that question, I would think it's easier for the guy than the woman.
What is easier?
When you say I like having trauma stories, like I think women have different worries on those journeys. So when you say I want those stories to tell, it's always going to come from a different perspective from the man than the woman.
Okay.
When I think in terms of like, I don't know what you give an example like, I remember, like, I'm not talking about, I remember our first apartment had one light bulb. That's not what I mean. But like,
okay.
But
men like that though.
Yeah, that's surfacey to some degree. It's not the same as like, when you lost your job and such, and I didn't know where our food was coming from. Men and women still have a very different perspective about that, how that occurs, because you're looking at provision, probably making sure you have keep a roof over your family, over your family's head. But I think women, just our worries are looking different. I don't think we worry about it less. So I think some of those traumas that you think grew you, and let's be honest, some of those traumas may not even be financial. They could be like one of them cheated, one of them, you know what I mean? Like we got through. That's what I mean. So some guy could, I'll just use a guy as an example arbitrarily. Doesn't have to be the guy, could be the girl. Either way, the woman or the man. At the end of the day, let's say one of them cheated. Well, let's say the guy cheated. Well, the guy's like, but our love is stronger than it's ever been. Well, y'all better agree on that when you get through that hurdle that. Because it could have affected you both very differently, and it should and would. Same if it was a woman that cheated on her man, and it was a terrible time, but it got us through some hard times, or we got through that and we're stronger for it. You don't know what the other person's experience was in that space.
True, because you're right. As I sit here and think, you can turn to him and say, "Man, remember when we was eating them ramen noodles?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, MFer, I do." You know what I'm saying? He could be thinking
like nostalgically.
Yeah, he's like, "Look at us now. We got a lady comes in and cooks for us,
right?"
And she'd be like, "Yeah, I ain't forget that."
Yeah,
because you had that stupid business idea that took all our money.
Right, or that. Let's go there. Like, yes, we lost our home in that.
Right. Yeah, that wasn't fun.
No. So I think. I don't know how you take that ride with the person and then really create, like do we see it the same way? Because I think even in those situations, you don't necessarily see it the same way.
That is funny. Because they could be like, "Oh, I remember. I'll never forget that. I hated you then."
Yeah, like I hated.
Because I told you this was a bad idea, and you sunk all our money into buying baseball cards or whatever.
Right. Like we just want to buy pipes for plumbing and sell to people. And it's funny because I look back and I had such an admiration for Michelle Obama, who could, we talked about this amazing example of that transparency. She was like, "I liked that dude for 10 years."
Yeah.
And I think that's a bold thing to say. And I don't see that now. Like, that's probably a part of their story.
Can I say something, though, about that?
What?
I used to shut people down, especially my sisters, who would talk about Barack Obama and Michelle. And I was like, "You wouldn't do that." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "That dude was running around trying to get people to sign up to vote. And she was a lawyer making money."
Mm-hmm.
You think that, for one, carrying the heavy, and he's out here being kind of lofty. I mean, let's be real. She was very structured.
Yeah.
You got to have a job. We got to get a house. We got to do this. And this dude was like, "I care about the American people, and I'm trying to get more people to vote." And he was in civics, and civics don't pay.
Right. I mean, she was always a breadwinner.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying is, I don't even believe in this day and age that wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. You would not have a woman who is an attorney with 2 kids married to a man who could be making money, very smart, but he's out here doing God's work.
Do you think though that there was a part of her that always saw that potential though? And
No, nobody knows your husband's going to be the president of the United States.
you
Get out
don't
of
think
here.
earlier when
No.
he was like, even when he became senator, that was because he wasn't senator long before he was chasing after being a president. You don't think she saw the
No.
potential that he wanted to be a senator?
I think if someone is as pragmatic as she is, she probably saw that as lofty.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know there was a.
And I even said, and by the way, now I'm going to quit my job being a civic person, drive him down the highway, and I need you to quit your job so we can raise money and roll the dice.
I think she had a sense of herself as a person and her worth and value and ability. She probably always knew if this don't work out, I'm gonna go back and figure out something. I can go back to doing something, because I do remember 2 interviews. One interview she had where she said she admitted that he really had to convince her this was the thing. Like, I feel led to do this, and she at some point said, if he's feeling led to do this, who am I to stand in the way of it? Like, who am I to stand in the way?
I remember that, but
then
I want the truth. I want to know. Like, Michelle Obama, if you ever get this, if this lands on your desk and you listen to it, she's never, ever, I believe, spoke on. First of all, I would like to hear her say, I didn't think that dude was going to win. I was hoping he would lose so we can get this off your, get this out of your head so we can go back to.
I mean, I would always, that's going to be a private thought, probably between her and the Lord always. Like, I hope this for doing with this job. You know what I mean? Like, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, shoot. I just know the first time he won, I went to bed and the man was president. I was like, oh, we got a black president tomorrow. Like, it was not.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like when you hope your kids lose a baseball game because
so
you
try
to
sit
that.
in the rain.
Yeah, you're
like,
I hope they lose.
I was like, I hope that, like, everybody else is like, oh, they're going to go championship. Like, I hope they lose today. I never was that. I was more the like, I hope it rains. And like, I hope there's a rain today. Like, we can postpone this game. The other thing with her that stands out to me is that she said, well, you always hear this story of where they had gone to that restaurant wherever, and she went in and he was like, oh, so you guys heard it out there. But so the dude was an ex, owned this restaurant. He was like, come on, let me show you to, show the restaurant to you. She goes and comes back, and Barack is like, yeah, so, if you had married this guy, this be all yours. You'd be a restaurant owner. And she was like, no, if I had married him, he would have been the president of the United States.
Right.
And I think she has a sense of herself that I think she probably always, I think if you can bet on yourself, you can bet on somebody else. If you can bet on yourself, I think you can bet on somebody else, because you're going to land on your feet. And so if she mentally always knew, I got me, so I got us, because let's be honest, she always kind of had them, then it probably wasn't a roll of the die for her that much. Like, I know being meticulous and wanting everything, but if you're a lawyer, a successful lawyer, and
high achieving,
like, and you went to these schools, and I mean, all of the, like,
right. You got all the accolades.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it may not be as risky as an accountant.
Okay.
And I'm not minimizing accountants, because I'm not Michelle Obama, but there is somebody that probably could have looked at my path and said, she gave up a lot so that her husband could kind of do his thing. And I did do that. And not in a scale of like, I was a lawyer.
That's a scale
but I'm saying when you're in a space where you go, I kind of step back so that this person could. People do that all the time.
So, okay. So then you step back because this person can. Then you only do that because you know they can?
I think on some level she probably always knew he could. I mean, just the way she talks about how he came about asking to marry him. And it's interesting because I've talked to different people, have very different perspectives of the two of them. I think mostly everybody agrees they're amazing people. But he kind of took this, like, I don't know if I'm meant to be married, if people are meant to be married perspective. And she got tired of hearing that. So I think he was still talking that crap the day he married her. And he,
she said he shut her up and gave her the ring.
Now you shut up kind of thing. And I was like, what? But I don't know. I think we got off a little bit there. So, I mean, I guess maybe that's an example of like their story, their journey.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're like,
now imagine if she got divorced today, and he got divorced today. They're millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
What?
All on their own.
Right.
She's got her book deals and
what
things.
What I'm saying is, quote unquote, they have their stuff together. How they gonna date? What would they even talk about?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. You mean like when somebody else came along?
Absolutely.
You think they're locked into the relationship because of that?
No, I'm saying is because of their relationship, they're locked in, and they have the history is so good, their experiences are so vast. I know you sent me that clip with nope, with Oprah Winfrey and these gray divorces. I just feel like the history and the experiences together is part of the bonding.
It can be.
Yeah.
I think some people, like George and Wheezy's story, there's some people that they really are brought together by the trials and the journey, but I don't think that's everybody's love experience. So I think that was the Obama love experience. It probably was. I know this is a probably shady name to bring up on the podcast. It probably was I can't think of his wife's name. Bill Cosby and Clarissa. No,
Camille.
Camille.
Camille
Yeah,
Cosby.
Camille Cosby. They probably have a journey.
You can't shade Bill Cosby and me. I don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm when those. There was a point in time where that was a power couple,
100%.
and
Yeah.
and so I have a funny that I will not share on there. Don't let me forget about power couples. This is a funny,
Okay.
but it's not worthy of the podcast.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the journey is only going to be as good as the journey is with the two people who recognize the strifes. There are two people that can be married and not even see that through the same lens.
True.
Girl, what
Because
you
their
try-
trauma could be
Yeah.
enough trauma that's like, no, this was trauma.
Yeah, and
Traumatizing.
someone else is like, oh, that wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how you got to bond because you both see it through somewhat the same.
That's
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, I think you got to see it. If you don't, then yeah, you're like you said, I ate ramen noodles for 3 months and I was ready to leave here.
Yeah.
Somebody else was like, wasn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember when, I don't know if it was you and Nate came by our house when we were remodeling it, and you're like, ain't no way I could do this.
No.
Was that you?
I was going to bring it up. That was me.
Oh, yeah. You're like, ain't no way
I was
in
like,
hell.
you got a good woman that can cook on this hot plate because I was like, there's no way in the world I can do this.
Right.
I
and
knew.
so even
Yeah.
if, let's say, your husband put you through that, you're like, that was awful. That was not fun. That was a terrible experience.
There are some people that could have moved to Georgia in that house the way it was. I could not.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same. I was like, and just some stuff needs to happen.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yeah. And so the backstory is, when I was married, we bought a 100-year-old house that needed remodeling from top to bottom, and we were literally cooking on a hot plate. We didn't have a kitchen. We were doing dishes in the tub.
Yeah, renovating.
We were renovating. Yeah. We were those young couples who did that damn thing. And when people came by, there were definitely some pearl clutching, like, y'all live in this house like this
with little people,
or
at least one at the time.
Had 1.5. Because Justin was born there.
Yeah.
And so we were living in that. It was a beautiful when we were done. But you're right. We both shared the same values of what it was to become, which is a beautiful 100-year-old brick house. But you're right. If someone came into that like, I'm going to a hotel, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and
you're right. And so that's not trauma bonding. That is traumatizing.
Yeah. Actually, trauma bonding, traumatizing.
I'm gonna write that down.
I think that's a good one too. Like trauma bonding, traumatizing. That's actually pretty good. And isn't that the kind of way life rolls with people though? It's like, did this pull us together? Did this pull us apart? And I think it would be very difficult for anybody to be in a relationship when they have checked their boxes of what it means to have your crap together. And I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that means. And then age matters because you're right. If you're 24 years old, it does look different than being 54 years old. Yeah. Probably even 45. Like if there's a point in which you're like,
and I believe in your 40s, women are not looking for potential. You know what I'm saying? You're marrying for potential in your 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
40s, you're like, bro, if you ain't got there yet, you probably ain't going to get there.
And you're going to marry a woman who's going to, if she's not cooking, you're not convincing her to cook. You're dating her knowing you're going to be eating out every night.
Right. You're in the 20s, you're hopefully it'll change. In your 40s, you're like, I don't cook.
Yeah, and I think it's wonderful to be in a place that you're set yourself to say these are my absolutes for me, and you might find a compatible partner with those absolutes.
Right.
And they're like, oh, I love dining out too. What is your favorite cuisine? Boom. Somebody else is like, oh, I need a woman that's gonna cook, and then we ain't gonna work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was told I was it's so funny you said that. This is a whole nother, but I'll just say it. I was told I was a sexist pro-feminist.
what's a pro-feminist?
I believe a woman can do anything a man can do.
Oh, okay.
I really do. I've never, ever.
Except answer a front door.
That's the sexist part. That's the sexist part.
Okay, I'm like,
Do you
we
get
just
what I'm
had
saying?
a podcast about like that.
I believe there's no job I do not believe a woman cannot do.
Oh, you mean like a career?
Career.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I really, if a woman, astronaut,
Yeah.
president,
Yeah.
like I believe there is no a CEO, everything.
Yeah.
I really believe that from the bottom of my
Okay.
heart.
I can appreciate that.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm pro-feminist,
Yeah.
but I am sexist,
Yeah.
and that's been the
Yeah.
thing that I now have figured out about myself. I was like, I accept that label. Yes,
Okay.
because
All right.
I do not believe that a woman should open up the door if there is a husband home. Like,
Yeah.
why? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I also saw a video where a woman was shoveling the snow, and the guy was like, "What are you doing?" And he picked her up and carried her in the house. And he was like, "I do that now."
Yeah.
And she was like, "I shovel my own snow." He's like,
Yeah.
"Not anymore." You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's funny how I can lay down those things and I'm like, that's tricky because I get it. Like I feel like there's some soft.
Oh, women are sexist when it's convenient for a woman.
Like I just am like
When it's convenient for a woman.
when it's convenient, or just But I mean, same. And there's some guys like, well, I'm sorry, I missed the laundry. I'm like, all you gotta do is put lights and darks in separate piles and wash. How did this happen? Except you didn't want to do it. So you're like, if I mess this up one good time, she ain't gonna ask me to do it again.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well, he shouldn't have been doing it in the first place.
Oh Lord. Not sexist much.
Yeah, I am.
So no, I think we were trailing into, is it possible, should a person later in life just already have it together? Because you're right, if you're 50 years old, you make $200,000 a year, you're not proving yourself to anybody, and you're in this space like, this is where I am right now. And it may be hard to trust maybe the sincerity of a person who didn't come along with you on the journey. They're getting you right where you are.
Don't get me when I got a second home in the Barbados, and you be like, "Ooh, isn't this nice?" You be like, "Yeah, it is."
Yeah, I feel like I'm not trying to slander, so I feel like I've read this somewhere, but I don't know if it's like legit. But Gary Owen, I think his current wife, he had a prenup with her. He didn't have one the first time, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he got like, she took me through this ringer.
Yeah.
And now I'm not letting that happen again. So that would suck. I mean, I wouldn't want somebody to marry me distrustingly. I don't know if I would be able to do that.
I'm sorry. I don't want to put you on blast.
Yeah.
You telling me you wouldn't get a prenup if you get remarried?
What?
You telling me that you would not have a prenup if you got remarried? Come on now. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
I'm processing.
Keep it real.
I'm processing.
Come on now.
I'm processing. That's tough. No, I get you, and I only because when I use them as an example, I'm playing myself out as I am a 20-something to 30-something-year-old woman that's married this dude and had children with him. I'm looking at it from that perspective.
You said I would not want to get married.
That's the example I'm giving in that way. Not me literally in this space.
No, I'm saying is Gary Owens, second time around, got a prenup.
They got a prenup.
You got married in your 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't signed no prenup.
Mm-mm.
But I bet if you got married today,
Yeah.
with
get
$3 in the bank,
I
bet you,
I get
bet
it,
you'd have a prenup now.
Yeah, that's crazy when we talk about everyday people, but I hear you.
Right. Yeah, everyday people.
No.
Come on now.
Yeah, you got investments you got to protect, and you got to protect your kids' investments.
And that's what he's doing.
Yeah, I know.
See what I'm saying?
That. I just
sexist when it's convenient
I hate
woman.
I hate that he cheated on her, but I hate that happened to him because that's
absolutely
that was like
absolutely
because he's paying her a lot of money.
Right. I remember reading everything that a woman gets from a man while she's married, the courts enforce it that she gets the same when she's divorced.
I think it should be that way. That's what we're getting to.
But a man can't enforce the things he got when he was married.
I will say, I beg to differ. I do know a couple people that flipped on. So they confirmed that the court is consistent with that. I know somebody who is...
The things that a wife provides for a man, the courts cannot enforce. but the things that a man provides for a woman, the courts enforce.
Unless they're in
What you going to enforce her to cook?
no,
Do my
well,
laundry?
now you're being sexist.
Sex?
But if
No.
if you're in a space where you are with someone, and in this situation, this person was the provider in the house, the breadwinner in the house, even though she was female, she still, you would have thought the roles played out. That she had the courts made the same stipulations for her to make sure that he was taken care of.
Right. That's why everybody gets so mad when a woman has to pay. And I'm like, oh, I thought we was all in equal rights.
Yeah, no, it happened. That definitely does happen.
Yeah. I'm glad it happens that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I am.
yeah.
Because I'm a Libra.
Yeah.
So now I'm all about
6, 7.
that's I'm all about what's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
No,
Like,
I definitely have seen it go the other way, and
Yeah.
I'm like, really? So they do follow the letter of that law. They like, oh, I've seen people. I'm like, they're like, she could count.
Yeah.
Does she have to pay palimony? Yes.
Yes.
Because
yes.
she was the
That's
breadwinner.
why
and-
everybody's like Terry McMillan's husband did her
Yeah.
dirty, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, you gotta pay.
Yeah.
If the roles were reversed, you'd have to pay.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, that was funny.
Mm.
So our takeaway from this is, which was good, trauma bonding or
Yeah.
traumatizing.
Yes, and I think that carries the load of whether a person
That landed
is-
like that. That
Yeah.
was a good takeaway
yeah.
for me on that
If
one.
you're in a space where you're like, this person
Yeah,
is looking through the same lens, trauma bonding, that
Mhm.
you can tell the sweet stories to your grandkids.
yeah,
Somebody else is like, I hated that dude for 15 years because
yeah,
I was blah blah blah, and not
Yeah.
trauma bonding.
yeah. I was
So,
traumatized.
And it's sometimes, and it is probably harder to swoop in to a relationship later in life with someone who is established, or either like who isn't. I don't know. That's a difficult place to land. Maybe harder than we think when you're not in a relationship where you've been in one for 25, 30 years and you started it at 23.
Right. Okay. That was a good one.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Till the next time.
Until the next time.